Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Hello, my name is Terry, and welcome to my kitchen. So, it's Sunday. You know what that means. We're going to be having some brunch today. We got a good meal that we're going to be cooking up, um, inspired by my grandmother, but with a new little twist to it. We also are going to be talking about dating advice. So it's going to be real informal today. I don't have an outline prepared because I really want this to be interactive. And then also just kind of have like a little blanket frank talk about like dating advice, because y'all know dating in relationships is a topic that is wildly popular on social media in general, but specifically on YouTube. Like, dang near everybody I follow talk about relationships in some capacity. So we're gonna have like a little fun twist on it today. But first, before we do any of that, we're gonna have brunch. So we're having mimosas. While I'm getting my mimosa prepared, let's see who's in the chat. We got Celeste here. She's saying happy Sunday, everyone. Please like the video on your way in. Yes, please. Thank you so much for being here, Celeste. We also got Berry Bell here. Hey, girl. She says hello to everyone. Miss Peach Love. Good Sunday afternoon, everyone. Welcome on in. Yes, thank you so much, everybody. Whether you're here in the chat being engaged, or if you're watching from the clouds, as they say, thank you so much for being here. There we go. We don't pop the bottle. So for my mimosa today, we are doing Prosecco. Love Prosecco. And then I also, before I pour it, I made some mango puree. So I had some frozen mangoes. I just put them in the microwave for a few minutes, added some monk fruit, a little bit of lemon juice, and there we go. Some little puree. When you go to the brunch spots, that's usually what they have, like puree, at least here. Some of the very popular brunch spots here, they'll have like puree. And so that's really how people be getting messed up with the mimosas, because it ain't juice, y'all. It's just a little bit of fruit at the bottom of the glass. I'm not trying to get a little toe up. I'm trying to, be productive today, even after we're done. So, All right, y'all. So for our meal today, we are going to be doing salmon and shrimp cakes. So y'all have heard, we done all had some salmon croquettes, right? Growing up, especially if you had an old black grandmama cooking for you like I did. Salmon croquettes was something that was I'm making a mess already. Salmon croquettes was something that we had quite often. And to be perfectly honest, I really didn't like them that much growing up. I still ate them, but they weren't my fave. But of course, as we get older, everybody start learning how to cook. Everybody want to make salmon croquettes. It's something that's pretty popular amongst all the Instagram chefs and all these people. So I decided, like I said, to put like a little spin to it. Fun fact, y'all. So y'all know I used to cater and meal prep and all that kind of stuff. A couple years ago, I was actually in like this food competition. There was a chef here. She's still here. Her name is Celeste. Not the Celeste in the chat. It's a different Celeste. But there's a chef here. She had like a food competition for different women cooks and chefs in the Phoenix metro area. I was one of the people that she reached out to because she found me some kind of way when I was cooking on YouTube, or I'm sorry, on Instagram on my In the Kitchen with Terry page. So I was in this food competition, and the theme was like my grandma or like mom used to make or something like that. So I did a newer version of salmon patties. So basically kind of how we're doing today. Instead of doing, because my grandmother used to make salmon patties with like canned salmon. Girl, salmon patties was something that the folks used to eat because it was cheap. They get salmon in the can, and that's how they ended up making it. But I was like, I'm not using no can. So I used fresh salmon, ground that up, made a little, it was real good, y'all. I should have won, but the girl who won, me and her, we actually still cool, so I ain't mad. It was some other people. Nah. Okay, y'all, who else is in this chat? I see Celeste over there popping bottles with me. Afternoon, beautiful people. Hello, Yvette. Thanks for joining. My brother is here. Y'all, I still don't know how to say his name. Hey, sis, I'm here. This is going to be a good one. I know it. Yes, it is. What's Miss Peach Love saying? Grandma's croquettes with rice and sweet peas were bomb. Yes. Salmon croquettes with rice. That was a regular meal in our household. Okay. So let's get started with this meal. I was trying to find my little thing to put the, okay, maybe not. All right. So to make our salmon and shrimp cakes, we're going to be starting out with fresh shrimp and salmon. So I have some salmon that I've already taken the skin off, and I've cut them up into little bite-sized cubes. I've also cleaned them a little bit. And then it's about almost just short of a pound of salmon here. And then I also have about 10 ounces of like medium-sized shrimp. We're actually going to use the food processor to kind of grind this up a little bit. I'm going to bring my food processor over here and get started. Before I add in the salmon and the shrimp, I want to cut the shrimp up a little bit so it's easier for it to chop. So we're going to chop it up in the food processor, but it's not going to be like super fine. You still want it to have some type of texture, but this will be able to kind of, get that texture going how we had back in the day when our grandmother was making these. Derek Gaines says, hello, I'll be bouncing in and out. Yes, thank you so much for joining, Derek. We love when you come in and be engaged in the chat and offer your perspective. Okay, so I'll go ahead. Let me get some gloves, y'all, because y'all know I cannot be handling raw shrimp. What does he say? Air Lamanthol. Air Lamanthol. I guess. I'm just gonna call you by your name, Tony. Okay. What right? I don't know how to pronounce that, y'all. I don't know. All right, who else we got here? Brian Mason, Baltimore in the building. Yes, thank you so much for joining, Brian. Brian is a part of the Smoke and Talk podcast here on YouTube, so make sure y'all check them out. They went live this morning, and I had a chance to join in for a little bit. I enjoy their podcast, so definitely go ahead and check them out. So I went ahead already and put my salmon in there. I'm going to cut the shrimp up just a little bit just to chop it up. Give it a little help. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Tony. I'm sorry. I don't need to butcher it, but I don't know what that is. Okay, so back to the topic. Dating. Like I said, this is a very popular topic here on YouTube. Damn near everybody and their mama got something to say. And it's funny because I find that a lot of people are kind of like recycling the same thoughts and opinions and advice. Well, really don't get too much advice, more so a lot of opinions, okay? So yeah, this is just a rough chop of the shrimp. Y'all see? Just cut it up in a few little pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this into the food processor. And we're going to pulse it. Not going to grind it up real fine. Again, we still want it to have some texture, but we do want to be able to, mix everything in and have a good time. I'm going to pulse this. There we go. Instead of just keeping it on high, I'm just pulsing it. It's looking nice. I'm going to show y'all in a minute. There we go. Okay. This is looking good. Okay. This is good enough texture for me. I'll show y'all what this looks like. Y'all can kind of see it here. I'm going to go ahead and take this out of here, though, and put it inside of my bowl because we're going to be seasoning it up real good. We big on the flavor around here, okay? So seasoning it up. I see someone else is in the chat. I'm going to pull y'all up in just a minute. Give me a minute to get this salmon and shrimp mixture. We're going to be making salmon and shrimp cakes. So it's a play on like salmon croquettes, kind of. So Go ahead and put the little mixture in here. Again, it's about just a little bit under a pound of salmon and about just shy of 10 ounces of shrimp. If you don't like shrimp, you can just do the salmon. But I think it'll be a nice little flavor combo. Shrimp and salmon tend to go well together. All right. That's good enough. Okay, so y'all remember back in the day, especially in the 90s, every women's magazine used to give dating advice all the time, y'all. All the time. It was like every magazine, Vanity Fair, Cosmopolitan, all the magazines gave all this advice. And the other day, I was thinking, like, we got all this content surrounding relationships. And it's a lot of people. Some people blame men why relationships are trash. Some people blame women why relationships are trash. If you like me, you blame everybody because I feel like we all contributed. But I was thinking, like, why is it so hard for people to find like someone, a companion, like their partner? It seems like everybody and their mama is single, except for anybody who's like 50 and older. But most people who are like millennials and younger, we live in like the hookup culture. And I'm thinking, like, why is that? And one of the things I was thinking about was like, probably because some of this trash advice we used to get in the magazines from your auntie who never had a man but was always had something to say about it, grandma who hated men, like even trash advice from men who really didn't have a lot of experience with women, but because they was a man, they felt like they had an authority to say something. So let me know in the chat while I pull up some comments if you have received some dating advice where you like, you know what, you probably should have kept that to yourself because that wasn't even necessary. All right, who else we got here? Selena Mason. She says, hey, podcast family. Hey, Selena. Again, she is a part of the Smoke and Talk podcast, so make sure y'all check them out. Go ahead and drop y'all link in the chat so people can go ahead and subscribe. Mikkel, she says, hey, Sora, I'm coming to get a small plate. Come on, girl. You feed me, so I can definitely feed you. Kaya is here. She says, hey, my sis in chat, happy Sunday, and I hope you all are well. I am doing absolutely great today. Baltimore is in the building. Shout out to Smoke and Talk. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. What Brian say? He said no accountability. He coming with the smoke already. Miss Peach Love says, welcome in, everybody. Don't forget to like the video on your way in. And if you're not already subscribed, please do. Don't be shy. Join in the chat. We're a real friendly over here. Yes, we are real friendly. We are definitely friendly over here. Who we got? We got Siobhan Caldwell. Thank you so much for joining, Siobhan. Siobhan is a friend of mine from college. We go way back, freshman year. All right. So to season up our salmon and shrimp, I'm going to mix this with my hands, but we're going to go ahead and get all our seasonings in here. Put this on a paper towel. Okay. So to start out for our seasoning, let me get this out the way so y'all can see what I'm doing. We're going to first start with a little bit of Dijon mustard. Now, trust me, y'all, I know it might seem a little weird, but I'm telling you, it is okay. You're going to add about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. About a tablespoon, table and a half. I'm just going to eyeball it. Nothing too crazy. We're going to also use our green seasoning. Y'all know I love this green seasoning. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my tutorial on my channel for the green seasoning. It is a herb-based, all-purpose seasoning. There's no sodium, there's no oil, and there is no sugar. It is all herbs and aromatics, a little vinegar in there. Go ahead and check out that tutorial. You will need a processor or a blender to go ahead and mix that up. Let's see who else. You know what, Miss Peach? I don't even know. I don't want to read that. Y'all saw that. Yes. Shout out to the college friends. Yes. You know, look, one thing I can say, I am blessed to say I have met some people that have become like family. I went to a HBCU. Shout out to all my Fisk guys that's in the building. Or even if you didn't go to Fisk, if you just went to a If you went to a HBCU, shout out to you because you understand. It's like a family. We like a family. We don't ever stop supporting each other. So I went ahead and added some garlic powder. I got an alert. I got to show y'all. Garlic powder. I got some onion powder. Let's see. I'm going to add in a little bit of crushed red peppers. Just add a little kick to it. We're also going to use, for our salt source, we're going to use some Old Bay seasoning. So season to taste. We're going to be making like a little aioli for this too as well. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right. Let's see. Oh, we got some more fish guys in the building. Ashley Smith. Hey, girl. Shout out to you for joining. Thank you so much. What's Celeste saying? She says, HBCU fam. Shout out to the Fiskites. Yes. Smoke and talk. Y'all, FedEx you a plate. I'm a FedEx you a plate. You know what? You in Baltimore. So I have some very good friends in the DMV area that I do plan on visiting. So when I'm out there, I'm going to hit you up. Okay. I'm going to hit you up. I need the shrimpless recipe. I'm allergic to shellfish now. Girl, you can do the same recipe. Just take the shrimp out. Just don't use the shrimp. You're going to use just salmon. Let me go back up to this comment. Miss Peach Love. Miss Peach Love says, we were told if it's a warm, wet hole, he will fall in it. Don't be no damn fool. Okay. That sounds like something. So if y'all don't know, Miss Peach Love, that's my sister, my blood sister. And that sounds like something my grandmother would say because my grandmother had no filter. All right. So the next thing that we're going to put into our mixture is an egg. That's going to help bind it together. So 1 egg. All right. So for right now, I'm just going to mix all this together. And then we're also, to help further bind it together, we're going to be using some panko breadcrumbs. Now, for anybody who is who has like a gluten intolerance, you can actually use like almond meal, or you can use any type of gluten-free breadcrumbs. I started to buy some gluten-free breadcrumbs, but the last time I made something similar to this, I just used panko, and I prefer panko. So this is why I decided to use that. Ooh, it smells good. So I always kind of, look, I like to smell my food. If I smell the flavor, if it smells good, that means it has enough seasoning in it. Okay. Let me take these gloves off. I'm going to go ahead and use, there we go. So like I said, we're going to be using some panko breadcrumbs. We're just using the plain ones. We're going to start out with about 1/4 cup of panko breadcrumbs because we have quite a bit of a mixture. I'm probably not going to use all of this on camera. I'll probably cook some more. My daughter went swimming with her friends. So, you know, it's swimming season here in Phoenix. All right. So I'm going to use about 1/4 cup of the breadcrumbs. I'm just going to go ahead and fold that in to kind of help bind it together. We don't want to use too much breadcrumbs, just enough. If you need more, you can add more. Just kind of eyeball it. This looks like a pretty good consistency. I'm going to show y'all in a minute. I might add a little bit more just to be on the safe side because I don't want my... Here we go. This is our mixture. It smells so good. Oh, it smells good. All right. I can see y'all already talking it up in this chat. All right. Who else has some dating advice that you got from a childhood, in childhood, anything like that? I'm going to share in a minute some of the things that I remember hearing, not just from family, but from other people. Also, let me know if y'all can hear me well. A couple lives ago, I had some issues with audio, so I always want to make sure y'all can hear me. So definitely go ahead and put in the chat if the sound is good. Miss Peach Love says she was a straight shooter. Sugar coating was not her style. Girl, no. My grandmother, honestly, y'all, my grandmother was the GOAT. God rest her soul. She died in about 2017. So it's been quite a while since she's been gone. We definitely miss her. She was the matriarch of our family. My grandmother, she cooked, she did it all, right? But my grandmother also did not mince her words. She was very, very, I don't know the word to you. She just said it all. She didn't care. She didn't care. Oh, let's see. Mikhail says, don't settle, period. No hookups, raise your standards, stop looking for him, let him find you. Okay. All right. So that kind of leads me to a few things. I'm going to add just a little bit more. And I'm going to put this off to the side and let it sit here because we're going to form our patties right before we get ready to make them. We're going to make our patties and put them straight into the container or the pan. So one of the things I did not make an outline today, y'all. Y'all know I like to have my outlines and everything for y'all, but I didn't make an outline today, but I did look up some things because I only had like a few things. I actually did ask a question on Instagram and Facebook of people to give me some dating advice that they had as children or growing up that they remember that wasn't necessarily always that great, but any great dating advice, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm going to pull up a few of those examples on my phone. Give me just a minute. Hopefully I didn't delete them. Here we go. Oh, I got a notification I got to share with y'all. We got Celeste with the $10 Cash App donation. Yummy Brunch. Thank you so much, Celeste, for the support. Y'all know the support is not required, but I definitely appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who has donated to the channel. Like I told y'all, I am investing back into it. This is a pot that I bought with the donation from Real Bravado Network. I bought some few things today as well. So I'm always buying stuff. And honestly, when y'all donate, I'm like, ooh, what else can I buy to cook? So thank you so much. I appreciate the support. All right. So Mikhail said, don't settle. Miss Peach Love says, you are the prize. He should work to win you. Okay. So I pulled up this article. I'm not going to pull it up on the screen, but I did find this article entitled 11 Pieces of Downright Terrible Dating Advice Given to Women. So I'm going to go over the 11 pieces of dating advice that they have said on this article. It's from attracttheone.com. That's the name of the website. So the first piece of advice that this particular website said was play hard to get. I know we've all heard that before, that play hard to get, you don't want to be too available, yada, yada, yada for the man, make him work, da-da-da-da. And this says, like, this is basically telling us, whoa. So I have to say that I frankly agree with that. Now, I don't think that you should just be out here being desperate. I remember a couple months ago, rather, I was at the cigar bar and I saw this older lady come in and she knew a lot of the men that was in the cigar bar, and like she started sitting down and she started talking, and next thing you know, I felt like she was like throwing herself like all over the men, multiple men, some of which had wedding rings on, but it was like she didn't care. It was some attractive looking black men. I live in Phoenix. It's not a black city, so when you see a black man, you be real excited. And she was just throwing herself all over them. And I was like, I don't ever want to be that woman. First of all, if I'm 50 and I'm still single, go ahead and just charge it to the game. That's number one. And then number two, even if I am single and I go out and have a drink, I'm not about to be throwing myself all over men. I can tell you right now, that ain't necessary. So she was doing the exact opposite of playing hard to get. I don't think that playing hard to get works. I think that you just have to be mindful of the person. If you like somebody, what's the point? What's wrong with telling them you like them? Because the thing about it is men have feelings too. Don't they have feelings? And like a lot of men, you know, we hear on this social media space, a lot of men are complaining because they're like, oh, you know, women, they play games. They only going out on dates to get free meals, which I think is dumb. And honestly, I don't know any woman personally who only goes out to eat with guys for a free meal. Like, sis, bruh, have you seen black women in restaurants in a group? Child, please. We don't need you for a free meal. Okay, y'all, I got to turn my air on. I am hot. Let me turn the air on. Miss Peach Love. Let me show this comment. Okay. All right. Oh, I can't stand an old skeezer. Girl, it was actually very embarrassing. Okay, so real quick, we're going to make a garlic aioli to go with our salmon and shrimp cakes. An aioli is basically a mayonnaise-based sauce. You can kind of add anything to it. So we're going to do a garlic and truffle aioli. Y'all know I love truffle, and I try to, elevate things over here because we want to cook for health. So we got to add extra flavors and different things because we're not going to be having like all the extra fat and sugar and carbs and stuff in our food because we're trying to, make sure we get them summer bodies together. So I'm going to start off with some light mayo. Use any type of mayo you'd like. I'm very particular about the mayo that I use. So I tend to use either light mayo or mayo made with olive oil. They have different brands out there. Look, food is high. So I use the best foods, which is basically Hellman's. I don't know why they changed the name. Okay, so we have some mayonnaise here. I'm going to add in a little bit of fresh dill. Just about a teaspoon of dill. Add in some fresh herbs. We're also going to do lemon zest and lemon juice. And remember, the lemon zest is just a thin layer of the lemon skin. You use a little microplane. You don't want to grate it too much because you don't want too much of the white part. Just a little bit. The zest of one lemon. And then we're also going to be juicing this lemon. So the juice of a lemon and then lemon zest. For now, I'm actually just going to use half the lemon because that's enough. We're also going to add in a little bit of red wine vinegar, just a few drops to give it a little acidity along with the lemon juice. Of course, so that we have plenty of garlic flavor. First, we're going to start out with my fave, the Kinder's Prime Steak, black garlic and truffle. Just a few little, here. I want to be mindful of how much I'm putting in here. I'm going to start out with a teaspoon of that. Shout out to Craig for the measuring cups and spoons. Huge supporter of the channel. Always looking out. I'm going to add in a little bit of black. Can y'all hear me now? Y'all should be able to hear me. Are you able to hear me? Let me know in the chat if you hear me. Yes. Okay. Good. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all, this is delicious. I'm going to add in the rest of the lemon juice. So for the, not sure how much y'all heard because it looks like I got muted. So for our aioli, we have the light mayonnaise, the juice and zest of one lemon. We have some fresh dill, about a teaspoon. We have a teaspoon of the Kinder's prime steak, black garlic and truffle, a few drops of truffle oil, a little bit of red wine vinegar, about a teaspoon, and that's it. Oh, and 1 clove of garlic. I did grate up a clove of garlic. Let me taste this again. This gonna be good. Okay. Let's just sit this here. All right. So playing hard to get. Dumb. In my opinion. I've heard plenty of men say, they don't want to waste their time with women that aren't interested in them. So no, I don't think it's necessary to like throw yourself all over a man like homegirl was at the cigar bar. But at the same time, I don't think it's anything wrong with letting a man know you're interested, because who in 2023, who got time to waste? Okay, so the second, y'all, this advice is ridiculous. The second advice that they say is terrible dating advice is be ready to have sex by date 3. It says, I'm not sure what jerk came up with the idea that you should have sex with a guy on date 3 or he's dumping you, but that's downright wrong. Okay. So I remember when Steve Harvey came out with his book, Act Like a Man, Think Like a Lady, or Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. And then, because the next piece of advice talks about like dating or waiting for a long time to decide to do whatever y'all gonna do. And I remember Steve Harvey's book, one of the things that everybody used to talk about was Steve Harvey was saying, wait 90 days before you decide to be intimate with somebody you're dating. And I remember not trying to say, you should be out here like that. But I remember thinking like, I mean, if y'all like each other, if y'all have kind of like gotten to know each other and decided, oh, we're going to see what this is, what you waiting on? Like if both parties are consenting and this is what they want to do because that's what they want to do, what you waiting on? I do think that there's a balance because, like I said, with millennials, we are in the hookup culture. So you see a lot of people who they not really establishing anything. They don't know if they want to be together, if they just want to play around. Folks ain't really out here dating with intentions, I feel like, a lot of time. And that's why so many people getting their feelings hurt, both men and women. But at the same time, I do think they're like, look, you just got to keep it real. Everybody need love. And when I say love, I'm not talking about love like, oh, googly eye love. I'm talking about, the bedroom. Hold on one second, y'all. Sorry about that. Let's see what Leslie Peach Tolliver has to say. Gonna play your man right to the next woman. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, I think it's important to kind of like be intentional. Like I just said, like let a person know you like them, that you're interested, live your life. If you are, I'm a business owner, I'm a mother, I do a lot. So like, am I about to be sitting up on the phone, caked up with a dude all day? No. But I do want him to know I like you, I'm interested in you, I'm choosing you, like you are a priority in my life. I'm not dealing with nobody else, or even if it's just like a casual dating, we're just getting to know each other, we haven't established anything. I still think that it's important to show interest. I think it's important to show interest. All right, y'all. So we are going to cut up some veggies because I'm going to go ahead and mix those into our mixture as well. So I'm just going to cut up a little bit of veggies just to add color and texture to our little salmon and shrimp cakes. So I have some red bell pepper. I am going to be dicing it up really, really fine because I'm mixing this in last minute. So very small dices of red bell pepper. I'm also going to be cutting up a yellow bell pepper, again, just to add color and texture. One of the things that I do like to do that's a little bit different from like old school style of cooking is adding in, I don't want to say they didn't use fresh herbs and things like that, but especially once time started to be of essence and like there's a lot of shortcuts in cooking, you find that a lot of people don't use as many fresh herbs and vegetables and peppers and things in their food. We use a lot of dry seasoning, which nothing is wrong with it. But like I said, when it comes to cooking for health and you want to add in as much flavor as possible, I'm telling you, taking the time to cut up some peppers and onions will go a long way in your food. Okay. All right. So I got just a little bit of bell pepper, red bell pepper. I'm going to cut up this yellow bell pepper. Again, fine dices. You don't want huge chunks because we're making little cakes. Okay. Here, let me scroll down, go to the next. Okay, the next piece of advice, they say it's terrible dating advice. You'll attract the one solely by using the law of attraction. Now, I will keep it real. I do believe in the law of attraction, and this is why. I think in the video that I talked about like plus size dating versus dating in my smaller size, I talk about the differences and I talk about how when I worked on myself, not just like my physical appearance, but also like just kind of thinking back on like some of the things that went on in my life, dating life, childhood, all of that stuff, right? Really kind of tackling some childhood trauma and all that kind of stuff. I noticed that, of course, I improved and I grew as a woman. And then also because of that and because of my confidence increasing and just me becoming a better person, I found myself attracting better quality men. However, as you can see, I talked about the things that I did. Like it was action. It wasn't just, oh, I want this man, and all of a sudden he's just gonna appear out of nowhere. Yes, law of attraction is real, but if you ain't doing nothing to attract these people, then like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Miss Peach Love says, I think the coitus timetables are ridiculous. I do too. I will say this. I do think that I have been guilty of, and a lot of people are guilty of, doing things too fast. I do think that if you don't take the time to try to learn who somebody is, like the whole physical aspect of your relationship starts to be like the most important, and you really don't get a chance to like learn who you are, what you like, if y'all are even compatible. A lot of the talking points that I hear on social media in regards to dating, a lot of it comes down to compatibility. Like people talk about their past experiences, and in my head I'm like, okay, did you not try to like get to know this person? Like how do you get to a point where you like 6 to 9 months in and you finding out something very basic about a person, and like, oh, I can't be with this person because they don't, let's just say they don't want kids, right? You want kids and they don't want kids. Isn't that something you kind of talk about like in the very beginning? Am I wrong? Maybe I'm not wrong. But because you so pressed and thinking about what we about to do, about to slide in like Trey Songz or somebody, like you ain't thinking about the important stuff. You thinking about that. So yes, there's nothing wrong with sharing intimacy with somebody you're dating, you like, all that kind of stuff. I'm also mixing up these. I'm cutting up green onions, very fine again. So yeah, all you thinking about is like the bedroom. You ain't really thinking about is this person somebody I can see myself with long term? And I will say this. I do also think that, like, I'm going to keep it real. Sex tends to cloud our judgment, because when all you thinking about is like that, you men and women, I think it's more so women, but men and women, you thinking like, oh, this person makes me feel good. You think about the intimacy side of things, like being around that person, the touches, the conversations, like the little things that happen when you are in those moments. Like, you're thinking about that and not about the fact that, like, that's not the only aspect of your relationship with the person. There's so many different things that you have to do or that happens in relationships. It's not just the physical. Smoke and Talk says manifestation. Yes, that whole, like, law of attraction. I know how a lot of people online feel about the whole manifestation talk. I believe in manifestation, but I think it, like the church folks say, faith without works is dead. Okay, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. Miss Peach Love says, bad advice. It's impossible for your standards to be high. You deserve the man you want. Ooh, we're gonna come back to that. We're gonna come back to that. Brian Mason says, what makes you feel good? Not what you need. You sound like somebody else that was on the live the other day. I think that was Craig Lamar who said something about what you need instead of what you want in regards to dating. And I think that's true. Like, again, I think that's how people get caught up in their situationships, because you done ushered in like a physical level of the relationship very early. And so because of that, and because you like the physical aspect of the relationship, you tend to let things kind of subside, you let things go, and then next thing you know, you're unhappy because now you're not really getting what you want. Like, you like the physical aspect, you don't want to lose that, but the emotional side of things, it's just not working out anymore. So it's more so about what you need, not always what you want. Not saying you can't get what you want, but I think you definitely have to be mindful, especially when you start introducing physicality into the relationship. Don't cloud what happens in the bedroom with what happens all the time. All right. So we have our green onions in here, our red bell pepper, and our yellow bell pepper. Oh, this is going to be nice. I like that I let it sit too, because now it's a good texture. It's kind of giving me like meatloaf vibes, like that same texture of like meatloaf or hamburgers when you get ready to form those. It smells really good in here too. Lots of garlic. This is going to be nice and colorful. All right. Okay. Next bad dating vice that this article says, you'll meet someone when you aren't looking. Okay, y'all. This is the main piece of advice. This is similar to something that I was thinking of when I was thinking about bad advice. Okay. So part of me understands the concept of this. I do think that sometimes when you are like putting an overemphasis on like finding someone, you tend to like not think logically and rationally. You just kind of go with the flow. Whoever like you, that's who you like. At least from a woman's perspective. I've seen friends, co-workers, college friends, all type of folks I know. You end up like, because you're so pressed to have a mate, you end up linking with somebody that like really you shouldn't be bothered with, because you're you know what, sorry y'all, can y'all hear that noise? This noise keeps happening. Okay, all right, I hope y'all can hear me still. Let me know if the sound is good, because this particular, can y'all hear me? Let me know in the chat. Okay, here we go. I was able to mute that. All right. So, yes, you do need to focus on you, get your life together, all that kind of stuff. But like, there is a level of like action that has to go into like finding a mate. No, you don't need to be desperate. No, it's not like you on every single dating site. You going out to every event in the city. Every time you going out to the bar or to the club or to the lounge, you trying to make sure you meet somebody. I think that is where you kind of like fall into, you can creep into that desperation side of things. But at the same time, like, you can't just sit at home and like think, oh, one day when I'm walking to the grocery store or I'm walking in the grocery store, the love of my life is going to find me in the cereal aisle. Like, there has to be some level of balance here. Okay. Sixth piece of dating advice, bad dating advice. Love conquers all. So I don't know if any of the married people, anyone in the chat that's married, I can tell y'all this. All the married people I know, they would tell you love is important, but love is not the only reason to get married. That's actually low key almost the last reason to get married, according to some people. I can't speak on that because I'm not married, but I've been told multiple times, you know, it's not just love that makes a relationship last. All right, let's go ahead and add in our other camera because we about to get started cooking. All righty. Okay. Look, I have a comment I have to put up here. Love don't pay the bills. It sure don't. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a lover girl. Okay. I'm a sucker for love. I am what they call it? A hopeless romantic, right? I love love. But I also know that it ain't the end all be all. Y'all just remember I forgot to put something in our aioli. I forgot to put some smoked paprika. Just gonna add in a half a teaspoon or about a quarter of a teaspoon of smoked paprika into our aioli and mix this up. I'm heating up my skillet here because we're going to make these patties in a skillet. So I'm going to heat this up. I don't want it to be too hot because I don't want to burn it. I'm still learning how to use our cooktop that was gifted to us, to the channel by Craig Lamar. Shout out to him. Thank you so much. Not sure if he's joined today, but still trying to learn how to use this. All right, we good there. Okay. Your grandparents told you that. That's right. You know what? My grandmother used to say that too. Like, love ain't everything. Don't get me wrong. It's very important in relationships, especially marriage. Like, you got to be able to, you know, you have to have that deeper connection, but like, it's not everything. It is not everything. You're not going to marry the first person you fall in love with. Your marriage is not going to be some fairy tale. Hell, even relationships aren't a fairy tale, to be honest. Who we got here? Maggie, the substitute teacher, loving the overhead view. Proud of you. Thank you so much, Maggie. Y'all make sure y'all check out Maggie, the substitute teacher here on YouTube. Lovely, lovely, wholesome lady. I love her. She's in Atlanta cooking it up. Every day she streams, usually from her kitchen, but sometimes when she's traveling, she does like her little dining documentaries. She does gluten-free, sugar-free, and dairy-free cooking. And she's sharing her health and wellness journey. So make sure y'all check her out. Maggie, the substitute teacher here on YouTube. She's also on Facebook and on Instagram. Okay. Let's see. Miss Peach Love says, Grandma said, when you find a man that cares about how you feel and think, can provide and add to what you have, and isn't a habitual liar, hold on to him. Love will come. Okay, Grandma. All right. So let me turn this down a little bit. I'm going to go ahead, add in a little bit of our non-stick cooking spray and a drop of olive oil. All right. So we're just going to go ahead, form these little cakes. I don't want them too big. We're going to do little small ones. I'm going to add them into the pan like so. Get this out the way so y'all can see. All right. So I turned it down just a little bit because I didn't want my pan to get too hot. Y'all, like I said, I'm still learning how to use this. So you can see the size of these. Of course, you can make them bigger. I want them a little bit smaller because we're doing like, you can use this as kind of like a little brunch appetizer, or it can just be like a whole little meal. You can pair it with some shrimp or some grits. These would be really good with grits. Some little salmon croquettes and some grits with some Gouda cheese. Baby, I love me some Gouda grits now. All right. I probably should have used my gloves. I'm not supposed to be handling raw shrimp, but hey, I'll wash my hands real good. So what's that? 5. I'm going to add in another one. Again, you can make these any size that you want, but presentation purposes, I want them to be kind of small. All right. Okay, let me wash my hands, y'all. All right. Any more dating advice that y'all have heard back in the day? Let's see. What else our article is telling us? The next one, number 7, find out where he stands on commitment right away. So I remember when I was looking at this article early, personally, I was like, I don't know. I feel like if you are someone, it does have a caveat to this that depending on your age. So I am 37, so I'm not no spring chicken. If I was 20, then I wouldn't be pressed to find out right away if a man wants to get married. Okay, you're just meeting people. But at 30 plus, I'm sorry, I think that you should know relatively soon if this person is marriage minded. If you want to get married, you want to have kids, then you need to learn that pretty quickly so that you don't waste your time. So I don't necessarily agree with the article, but I do understand the sentiment, especially for younger people. Because again, if you're like 21, 22, you're probably not thinking about marriage. Personally, I don't think that people under 25 should be rushing to the altar, but that's just me. Then again, I ain't married, so what do I know? Miss Peach Love says, I don't know if this is bad advice or not, but I've always told my children and you, they send the representative first. Do not believe you truly know a person in a few short months. I do believe that. I think that time is everything. I've been in situations in relationships where everything just kind of went really fast. It was almost like that love bomb situation. And then next thing you know, he kind of circling back and things aren't what they once were. So I personally like the idea of dating someone for a longer period of time. You get a chance to get to know them. You literally see them in different seasons of life, both figuratively and literally. And you get an opportunity to see like, okay, is this somebody that I actually want to be involved with for a long period of time or not? Ooh, look at there. Y'all, this is going to be lovely. Look at that beautiful color. All right, so I'm just going to flip these. I'm actually going to add the top on here for a few minutes to kind of help them cook through. This pan is new, so I appreciate the fact that I don't need a lot of oil. I've told y'all before, the quality of your pans, they matter, because if you have non-stick, you don't have to use a whole lot of oil. So, of course, when cooking for health, that matters, because we want to mind our waistlines. So I'm going to put this top on for just a few minutes. Yvette says, facts to Miss Peach Love. Yes, I know. I need to know what the dude wants at my tender age of 30. Child, you ain't hardly no 27. Stop lying to people. Don't lie to the YouTube. Okay, Miss Peach Love says pretty cakes. Yes, thank you, right? They look really good already. Kaya says they look amazing. She also says, can they be done with shrimp only? Yes, they can. So just like I think Siobhan earlier said she's allergic to shellfish, so she can't do the shrimp. You can actually do just shrimp or just salmon. The thing about it is that it's just going to be a matter of making sure you have something to bind them together very well. So I like the panko breadcrumbs. You can, and I use plain ones. You can use any type of breadcrumbs that you like. Gluten-free. You can use even like an almond meal or different alternatives to it. You can even use the old school cornmeal if you want to. And then also an egg to help bind it together. The main thing is make sure you don't grind it up so fine that it becomes like mush. You want it to have somewhat of a texture, right? So that you're not just biting into mush. It really depends. I'm not one of those people who's like, I can't have certain textures of food, but I do like my food to have, a nice little bite to it. All right. Here, I'm gonna move these over here because I need these to have a little bit more color to them. Y'all, these are nice. These will be perfect for a little brunch, appetizer. They look so good already. I'm gonna make a few more. There we go. All right, let's get back to our article while we're waiting on these to cook. So yeah, finding out immediately where they say this is bad advice. Personally, I think that you should find out where these men and women stand immediately, because who got time to waste? Most of us in here I'm gonna say most of us in this chat, we're over 30. Okay, you're too picky. Maybe he's good enough. Before I say my comment, what do y'all think? You're too picky. Maybe he is good enough. I'm going to go ahead and read the paragraph. It says, if you're thinking of this about someone you're with, you're already sunk. Both people in a relationship should feel like they are getting a good deal by being with the other person. If you suspect that you might be settling, then trying to talk to yourself into it by using rationalization, you're being too picky, will end up bad. Let's see. I have everything to make those heading to the kitchen when the live is older. Yes. Miss Peach Love also says, that's a double-edged sword. It is. It is. So in that same live that we were talking about, oh no, I think it was the live that we were talking about like expectations of dating. Okay. Because it's actually been a lot of talk recently about the whole settling thing and you shouldn't settle and all that kind of stuff. Personally, I don't like the word settle because it makes it have like a negative connotation. I think the main things that's important when it comes to relationships is finding somebody who, like Miss Peach Love said earlier, who respects you, who's kind to you, who's honest. You both want similar things out of life. You have similar values and morals, things of that nature. That is the most important. All the other stuff is like the cherry on top. I see a lot of women, especially on like the Kendra G show, a lot of women talking about they want the 666. They want the 6 foot man making the 6 figures, and y'all can guess what the other 6 is for. And I feel like, don't get me wrong, not saying that like we should be out here struggle loving, but I think that it's kind of like wild to me that like some women have like these wild expectations and they've literally never met the type of dude that they claim they want. So like, do you have proximity to the types of people that you say you want. There's nothing having expectations. There's nothing wrong with having expectations. There's nothing wrong with having wants and desires, but that shouldn't like be the end all be all when it comes to dating and relationships. And I'm not gonna lie, I really hate when people are like, I'm not gonna settle. Girl, do you realize somebody could look at you and feel like they're settling for you? Like, I don't think that you're settling. I have a hard time with that word. I think compromise is a better word. I think we should definitely be more apt to compromise in relationships. And as long as someone is not treating you poorly, then is it really settling? It's settling if you with a man, or with a woman, but we're talking to women today. It's settling when you with a man who treats you like crap. That's what settling is. You with a man who treats you like crap. He don't talk to you. He doesn't value you as a person. He really only wants you for physicality. That is settling. But like to say that being with a man who makes $80,000 as opposed to 120 is settling is wild, especially when you make probably 45. Come on now, sis. Come on. Channelist Kevin Samuels in 3, 2, 1. Your expectations and standards are too high. Look, I ain't trying to I'll say it like this. I'm not a Kevin Samuels fan, nor am I a Kevin Samuels hater. I will say this also. I think a broke clock can be right. Well, we know a broke clock can be right twice a day. So no matter how you feel about, our fallen brother, Kevin Samuels, there are some things that he said and that people continue to repeat today that I think are valid. And there are other things that he said I was just like, I don't know about all that, but all right, whatever. Okay, I'm going to put this top on here for a few more minutes, and then we're going to take these off. We're going to make another few of our cakes, and then we're going to plate. It's going to be a quick live today. So yeah, I don't hate Kevin Samuels. You're not going to hear me quoting him for real either. I'm very indifferent. Again, there were some things that I heard him say that I was like, okay, I understand what you mean by that. And then there's other things that he said that I'm like, I guess. All right, number 9. Men don't like smart women. We know this is true or this is false. I can tell you from personal experience that men don't like dumb women. That's for sure. I think we've realized that, we used to have a culture, especially back in the 90s, where it was like the dumb bimbo. And, they showed these women on a lot of the sitcoms and shows that we watched. They were just beautiful. They didn't offer anything else. But like we know in real life, like men love women they can have real conversations with, they can engage with. Everybody wants to be able to feel like you can connect to somebody on an intellectual level. So like, I think it's stupid to try to like downplay your intelligence, but I also think that we have to be mindful, and I've had to do this myself with dating, is like not trying to like over talk people and like act like your ideas are facts and what you believe are the absolute truth. I think it's important to listen to people to kind of understand where they're coming from, their beliefs, and then understand them, validate them, let you know you heard them, and then offer your perspective. That's an actual conversation. But like this whole battling back and forth, that's stupid. And also, trying to diminish yourself just to be next to a man is absolutely ludicrous as well, in my opinion. I don't think it's necessary. I really don't. Let's see. Miss Peach Love, what did she say? You are not settling when you live an average life and when you've done nothing in life to propel yourself forward and are just waiting for fake Prince Charming to swoop you up. Yes, ma'am. All right. We're going to take these off. Y'all, these look so good and they smell even better. All right. I'm going to put these on a little plate. Get them out of here. We're going to cook up just a few more. All right, what else Miss Peach Love say? She says, men love intelligent women. What they don't like is a woman who attacked their intelligence. Absolutely. So, I'll be honest and admit, I'm a Leo. I'm bossy. I think I know it all. And I get mad when people don't listen to me. And this has spilled into my dating life, unfortunately. I will readily admit that. But as an adult, as I mature and grow as a woman, I realize, okay, girl, like if you want a man to stick around, you can't be trying to argue with him and trying to get him to agree with you. Everybody don't have to agree with you. We can all have our own opinions and our own thoughts. So that's my little tidbit. Like, I think it's good to offer your perspective, but you got to be mindful. Don't try to outsmart anybody, man or woman, because now what are you telling them? You're telling them that, like, I don't respect your mind. I think that you're stupid. And once somebody feel like you trying to insult their intelligence, all bets are off. They're going to become defensive. And at that point, it's not going to be a productive conversation. So intelligence is good, but being a smartass is not. Yes, I said it. Being a smartass is not good. All right, so just 4 more. All righty. Actually, let's do another. Why not? Why not? Got a few more in here. Y'all, these smell so good. Super, super easy. If anybody's just joining us, we're making some shrimp or salmon and shrimp cakes. This is a play on, my grandmother's old school salmon croquettes. We use fresh salmon, some fresh shrimp, cut those up and chop them up in the food processor. We use Dijon mustard, Old Bay seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder. What else do we use? A whole bunch of stuff. And then now we're just cooking them. These are going to be really good with our garlic aioli. Let's see. Girl, child, you love that cast. This is actually a new pot. Shout out to Real Bravado Network for donating. He has been the stream sponsor a few times, so shout out to him. I bought this recently. It has like a little gold handle. It is not cast iron. I can't remember what it's made out of, but the bottom is metal, so I'm actually able to use it with the induction cooktop. And remember, induction cooktops use like a magnet to kind of help heat the pots quicker. I probably messed that up, but that's the gist of them. All right. Number 10, if you don't feel a spark right away, you shouldn't accept another date. I believe this is stupid advice because I think this kind of goes into that whole like Disney fairy tale thing that of a love affair romance that we were all sold as children. I'm 37, so I grew up in the 90s. Y'all remember all of those Disney movies. Disney's was lit back in the 90s. Every movie was basically about a woman, a girl finding her Prince Charming, and they live happily ever after. And I have to say, because of growing up like that, I have fallen victim to the whole fairy tale mindset. And I do think that we sell ourselves short when we meet people, and because it's not like an instant spark, thinking that like, oh, I shouldn't date him, like, or her, I just don't feel anything there. I literally remember telling one of my clients recently, because she was telling me about going out on a date with somebody. She was like, I don't know if I should go out with him because I just didn't feel anything special. And I'm like, girl, it was one date. It was one date. One date. He's a nice guy. Y'all had good conversation. You had a good time. Like, you don't know where the future will hold you or what the future holds. Don't sell yourself short. I do think that is silly. Tony says that's silly and garbage advice. Exactly. Miss Peach Love, lies, lies, lies. Tales, yes, all lies. Love ain't no fairy tale. Relationships aren't no fairy tale. Marriage are not, it's not a fairy tale. There was a meme I actually saw recently that talked about like relationships and like what they actually look like. How like you actually will have times in your relationship where you are kind of bored. You actually will have times in your relationship where you don't like the person. They get on your nerves and you want to slap the hell out of them. Like, so we got to get out of that mindset that everything is supposed to be perfect. It's not. It's not. And that could really be why a lot of people are still single and they don't want to be. It's because they waiting on this fairy tale love affair that's realistic. I don't know very many people who are married that got a fairy tale. One of my favorite local couples, you know, they're pregnant again. They about to have another baby. They're just so cute, y'all. I love black couples, young black couples with their little family. But I know these people personally, and like the wife told me some things in confidence about like when they first started dating, because I actually asked her for some advice. And it was interesting to know like that things were not like perfect when they started dating. It wasn't bad, it wasn't horrible, but there were some things that they had to kind of like work through because of whatever. I don't want to go into their personal business. It's not my business to divulge. But it just goes to show like everything is not going to be like, again, some fairy tale, some Disney movie. You're not going to meet the guy or the girl and then boom, you're going to have sparks and flowers and roses all over the place. You're going to be googly eyed and y'all going to live happily ever after like Cinderella and the Prince. No, no, no. That ain't how it is. That ain't how it is. Let's see. Miss Peach Love, I think that piece of advice contradicts the courting process. It does, because when you're dating, when you're courting, we're gonna put our top on here. The whole point of dating and courting is to get to know the person, right? See if this is somebody you want to long term. I think that when you do, this, y'all tell me if y'all believe this or agree with me on this. I feel like if things are like super perfect in the beginning and like the sparks are wild and just going, there's just so many emotions, like you might want to be a little mindful on that. Not saying that like I don't want to be one of those pessimistic people like, oh, if it's too good to be true, then it's not true. But I have encountered situations where like things were so good in the beginning, like so good. He liked me, I liked him. It was just perfect. And then like 2 months down the line, boom, I get hit in the face with some bull crap. And now we ain't talking no more. You know, that's a millennial love affair right there. So it ain't always gonna be sparks. It's not always gonna be, you know, this perfect romantic fairy tale feeling. I think you definitely should give people an opportunity to like not prove themselves, but just give people an opportunity to show you who they truly are within reason, though. Within reason. Let's see. What does Tony have to say? Off topic. Stacy and I would like to come over and taste text next Sunday. Man, y'all always trying to come eat. I'll text you. I'll text you. See what I'm cooking. All right. Let's check on these. We're going to plate soon. We're almost done. All righty. These look so good. What y'all think? Put a 1 in the chat if this looks like something you want to have at your next brunch. Put a 2 in the chat if you like, I don't know about that. I better see all ones. This looks so good. All right, let me get ready to plate. So we're going to put this over. I have some leftover arugula from the other day. So I'm going to add this to my little plate so we can have a little green. Because, you know, I said we cooking for health, girl. Okay. So we want our greens, our micronutrients. Yes, I see the ones. Yes. Yes, all the ones. Miss Peach Love got several ones. Okay. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for the boosting in my ego and confidence on my cooking skills today. Alrighty. Just a bed. You can add any type of greens if you're going to eat them like this. You can even eat these over a salad too. Like there's so many different type of ways that you can eat this over a salad, over some grits with some nice Gouda cheese. If you want to do it the old school way with some rice, you know, you can. However you would like. All right. Brian says one seafood is awesome. Selena says one looks delicious. Okay. Thank y'all. Miss Peach Love says, baby, let me tell you. In my experience, the perfect from the start turned into Ike and Tina or Sheila and Mike. Listen. Those sparks can fly in the beginning. The fire, the flame can be burning something crazy. And then next thing you know, something come and burn out the pilot light. And then it's all hell broke loose from there. So I just say you gotta let the chips fall where they may. I will say this. My best dating experience, things were not bad in the beginning, but they weren't perfect either. I'll just say that. I'm gonna call you Ari, okay? Ari says sparks are cool, but that's all they are. If you want that constant flame, you have to work on it. Yes. And this is coming from somebody who is in a long-term relationship. So they know what it takes to keep that relationship, sustain that relationship. I think that we have just unrealistic expectations of what relationships should look like. Like we really have been bamboozled by Disney and just by movies and everything. Think about like all of those like romantic comedies that we used to watch back in the day. And y'all remember like the two, they would, especially on like the date or the sitcoms like Family Matters and all that kind of stuff, they would kiss and everybody be like, woo, woo, woo. And then you see like they have like these googly eyes and the screen get all fuzzy and all this kind of stuff. It's just, you think that's what it's supposed to be. And then you get grown and you start dating for real and you like, this ain't what this is. What? This what I thought I was supposed to hear love music when I kissed the guy the first time. That ain't how it happened. I don't know. All right. Last piece of bad dating advice, the article says, the best way to get over someone is to get on someone else. Child. Look, if you want to be a city girl, do your thing. Do your thing. If you really want to, manifest the next best relationship, I think the best thing for anybody to do is to work on themselves. After a relationship, think about, I'll just tell y'all what I did after my last terrible, terrible breakup that put me in a horrible bout of depression. And it just seemed like my life came crashing down on me after that relationship. I had to look at myself. I had to look at myself and think about, Tara, what are you doing? What are you doing wrong? Because I can't control anyone else's behavior, but I can control my behavior. And so how are you meeting guys that aren't, on the same page as you in terms of what they want out of relationships or even where they are at in life? Like they just kind of stuck in this situation where they ain't really doing nothing. They productive with themselves, or I won't say they're not really doing anything productive with themselves. I've only had one or two situations like that. But they're not really looking towards something long term, or if they said they were and they weren't, whatever. Like, what are you doing to like attract these types of people? What are you doing once you realize that someone, they may have said one thing, but then it turns out they want another? Are you continuing to still be bothered with this person, thinking that you can change them? Are you trying to convince them that you're the one? Like, these are all things that I've done before, and I know that other women have. We got that complex real bad that we think we can change a man. Baby, you can't change no man. You can't change no man. All right, these are about done, y'all. These are looking absolutely amazing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, turn this off. We're going to put these on here. These look so good. I think I'm going to make this for my next little brunch that I have. I love to entertain y'all. I love to entertain, have people over. Anyone who knows me personally will tell you I love to cook for people. So this is going to be a little something that I use, or I cook the next time I have a brunch for the ladies. All right. So what does Brian say? Must man when they grow up is peace. Or what they want. Most men want, what they want is peace. I think that's what you're trying to say. That's what they say. How do you, that's for another episode. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Okay. Miss Peach Love says, Grandma said you will always have something to deal with in a relationship. It's up to you to figure out what all you're willing to accept/compromise in order to have a long-lasting relationship. I do believe that is true. Listen, I'm not one to male bash because I love me a black man, okay? But every man got something about him, okay? Even the good ones. Just like every woman got something about her, even the good ones. You just got to figure out, like Miss Peach Love says, like our grandmother said, you got to figure out what it is you're willing to be okay with. And as long as it's not something that's really like making you feel like you compromising your morals and all that other kind of stuff. Like, I feel like we just put too much emphasis on dumb stuff. And then we be out here looking stupid because you're like, oh, where's my man? Where's my woman? Girl, boy, you done passed them up. Brian Mason says, look at yourself more and you. Absolutely. You got to look at you because, you know, it's so funny to me. I hear a lot of people, men and women, they talk about, struggle streaming. The stream came off. Here we go. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. I see a lot of people, they talk about, this bad relationship, that bad relationship. This man did that. That woman did that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. You've had 5 failed relationships. What's the common denominator of all those failed relationships? You. Not saying that the other person didn't do their part, but you always have to think about what it is that you contributed to the relationship and the reason why I failed. I think that we sell ourselves short thinking that we are perfect and it's always the other person's fault. That's on some narcissistic type stuff. I'm not here to diagnose nobody, but that is on some narcissistic type stuff. If you think that you are perfect and it's always the other person, like, check yourself. Check yourself. Getting over someone is not easy. You need to focus on yourself and other things. Absolutely. Of course, that didn't mean except cheating. I can, or being a deadbeat. Absolutely. Like, it's within reason, right? It goes without saying. You don't want anybody who is, treating you poorly, lying, manipulating. We don't want none of that. We want healthy relationships. All right. So I'm plating our cakes. Oh, look who we have here. Bella Rings is in the building. Hey, Bella, thank you for stopping by. Bella is also a content creator here on YouTube. Make sure y'all go check her out. If one of the mods can link to her channel, she talks about what we're talking about. She talks about relationships and dating. I believe Bella is married, so she is offering a perspective from not only a wife, but a young wife too. So yes, definitely go check her out. She has some great content here. She was just live earlier today and I checked her out as well. All right, let's see. Miss Peach Love says, she also said, understand that there are some things about you that may need to change in order to be successful in your relationship. Absolutely. Absolutely. I can say that from personal experience. Like, y'all, I really had to look within myself. Of course, I've had some terrible things happen to me in relationships. You know, most women can relate to, you know, you don't had a man lie to you, cheat, all of the kind of stuff. But like, I also have to think about like, what was it that I was allowing in the relationship? What was it that I was doing in the relationship that caused a breakdown in communication? Because I recognize that in that terrible breakup, like, dang, Terry, no, you're not the reason why he did X, Y, and Z, but you are the reason why, or you are part of the reason why y'all communication was absolutely terrible. So be honest. Looking scrumptious. Thanks. Yes, these cakes are looking good. I'm about to show y'all. Ari says, could never understand why people want to change folks. You know, that's something that a lot of women suffer from. I'm just gonna keep it real. As a woman, I know that I have fallen victim of that too. Like thinking you could change somebody. You can't change no man. You can't raise. What that K Michelle song say? You can't raise no man or something. Child, I don't know. Miss Peach Love says, I'm not with the hop on the next man ASAP. Never have been. In my opinion, you need to figure out what went wrong and adjust accordingly. It might have been you. Brian says, it is you. Brian says, you common denominator is you. If you fail relationships 5 to 8 times, yes, you have to look within. Looking within. All right, Bella is saying hello. Okay. All right, y'all. Let me get a spoon. I want to put, you know what? Let me get a spoon for our aioli. You know what? I'm going to put the aioli on the side. And then we're also going to chop up for plating purposes. I'm going to chop up some green onion. I still have some because I like the food to be cute for y'all. All right. Okay. Here we go. You kind of chop it up on a slant, on a diagonal, and that'll make it cute. Presentation matters. You know, I am not a full stylist, but I do my little thing. You know, I do my little 1-2. All right. It's time, y'all. Let me turn on the other camera so I can show y'all this plate of food. Then we're going to taste it. All right. Let me get my other camera on since we struggle streaming around here. Here we go. Y'all can see here. I'm going to bring the other camera to the stream. All right, y'all. Lord Jesus. Sorry, y'all. I'm having technical difficulties. All right. Presenting our salmon shrimp cakes. Here we go. Looks delicious. Yes. Karen knows. Karen knows. People eat with their eyes. Yes, you want your food to look good. You don't want to just serve anybody slop on the plate. So take your time. Plate your dishes. Y'all can see here. It looks beautiful, right? All right. And here is our garlic and truffle aioli. We're going to have that together. I'm going to take a picture and then I am going to taste this for y'all because, baby, I'm hungry. and I'm ready to eat. Let's see. They look amazing. They look scrumptious. Thank y'all for the compliments. I appreciate it. Wait a minute. Let me get my because you know it's brunch. So let me get my mimosa ready to put next to my food. You know, since we talking about dating, you dating somebody, you got a husband, a wife, or even just a new little boo thing, go ahead and make this for them for a little cute little breakfast, you know, brunch in the bed or something. Make it a little romantic. I mean, you know, we did talk about life ain't happily ever after, but you could play like it is. All right. So here we have it. Our salmon and shrimp cakes. A little modern twist to our old school shrimp patty or salmon croquettes grandma used to make back in the day. Here, let me put a little bit, my little green onion back on now. Okay. One more picture and a video. All right. There we got our picture and a little, oh. Yes. Salmon and shrimp patties. Ooh. All right. Time to taste. Let me get a fork. All right, y'all. So I'm going to taste it first by itself. Then I'm going to taste it with the aioli. So here is, you can see there, hopefully, is our salmon and shrimp cake. This is good. This is really good. It's not dry. It's still moist. Still has some texture to it. I love the fact that we added in the bell peppers because it adds more texture to it. That aioli, it sets it off. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. Let's see what y'all saying in this chat. Looks scrumptious. Thank you, Bella. Selena says it looks amazing. Uh-oh. YouTube don't want me to be great today. Brian says it looks amazing. Kaya says, oh, they look good. Celeste, thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. Definitely go ahead and try this recipe out. It's really easy. Super simple. It is some work that you do have to put into it, but it's worth it. I like the idea of using like fresh things as opposed to canned or even frozen as much as possible. So I think here. All right. So yes, thank you for the compliment, Miss Peach Love, on my dress. I was saying before my sound got muted, I try to make sure I come to y'all looking like something. No workout clothes, no sweatpants, no oversized clothes. I want you to feel like you're a guest in my home, that I am welcoming you here for some good food, a good drink, and some good conversation. I will be back on Wednesday live. If you have any suggestions on topics or on something you would like to see me cook, please, please, please let me know. I want, this is for y'all. It's not about me. It's about y'all. So if you would like something, if you see something on Instagram or Facebook, a recipe, you're like, oh, this looks good. I want Terry to cook this try it out and see if I should cook it. I'll be the guinea pig for y'all. So go ahead, reach out to me on Facebook, or no, not on Facebook, because I don't check that often. The best way to reach out to me is Instagram, My Sexy is Strong. You can also email me, Terry@mysexyisstrong.com. You can also visit my website, www.mysexyisstrong.com. Thank y'all so much for all of the support and the love. Shout out to Celeste with her Cash App donation today. She is a stream sponsor. I appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate all the love and support. We are growing by the day. My goal is to get monetized as soon as possible. So thank y'all again for watching the videos, liking the videos, commenting, sharing with your friends and family. I really appreciate it. I hope y'all learned some today. I hope y'all had a good time chatting it up. Please let me know if you try this recipe in the future. I will see y'all Wednesday. Have a good one. Bye.